What if I told you that the most expensive mistake you're making in your garden right now is throwing away your weeds? Seriously, today I'm going to show you how a patch of stubborn, annoying weeds completely transformed my garden, saving my pepper plants, building a custom bed for my cucumbers, and saving a wild tomato harvest. But stick around because by the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to turn those exact pulled weeds into a secret, ultra-potent liquid fertilizer that will make your chili harvest explode with fruit. You won't want to miss a single step, so let's get right into it. Method 1, the cardboard pepper experiment. Invasive weeds can absolutely drain your energy. They pop up overnight, steal sunlight, and chug all the water your veggies desperately need. If you don't stay on top of them, your harvest takes a serious hit. But today, I'm sharing a simple trick that completely shuts down weed growth while giving your pepper plants a massive health boost. First, let's prep the bed. I like to spread a generous layer of well-rotted manure right over the soil. This is a game changer because it packs the dirt with the exact nutrients peppers need for strong roots and heavy fruit production. It also loosens up the texture, making it super easy for roots to spread out. Just mix it lightly into the top layer of your soil. Now for the secret weapon, cardboard. We're going to cover the entire bed with it. Cardboard acts as a total blackout curtain, blocking the sunlight so weed seeds can't germinate. Make sure you cover every single inch of bare dirt. If you leave even a tiny gap, weeds will find a way through. Overlap the edges of the cardboard pieces just to be safe. Next up is planting. Grab a sharp garden knife, but instead of cutting out a big circle for your plant, just make a simple plus sign cut. This is a great little hack because once your seedling is in the ground, you can fold those cardboard flaps right back around the stem, keeping the soil completely protected. Gently pry open the flaps, dig a small hole in the dirt beneath, and settle your pepper seedling in. Try not to disturb the root ball too much so the plant transitions without any shock. Press the dirt down gently to keep it upright and snap those cardboard flaps closed. Repeat this for the rest of your peppers, making sure to leave plenty of breathing room between plants. Peppers hate being crowded. Good spacing prevents diseases and stops them from competing with each other. To lock everything in, we're finishing with a thick layer of rice straw mulch. Rice straw is lightweight, easy to work with, and breaks down beautifully over time, adding even more organic goodness to your soil. Dump enough straw to hide the cardboard completely. This double layer system keeps the soil incredibly moist and beautifully cool during scorching hot days. It cuts your watering time in half because the water just doesn't evaporate. Over the season, both the cardboard and the straw will slowly compost right into the ground, creating a rich, spongy soil environment. Your weeds get smothered, your peppers get fed, and you don't have to spend your weekends breaking your back pulling weeds. It's an easy, chemical-free way to get a massive pepper harvest. Method 2, the guava tree cucumber bed. Today, we're tackling a super satisfying garden project. We are going to clean up a patch of stubborn, overgrown weeds, build a gorgeous brick garden bed, and plant fresh cucumbers, all in one go. It's the ultimate way to turn a messy, neglected corner into a high-yielding, organized space using materials you already have. We have to start by facing the biggest enemy here, deep-rooted weeds. If you let them run wild around your fruit trees, they'll steal all the water and nutrients. First, take a weed trimmer or shears and clear the top growth. Getting that long grass out of the way makes it much easier to see what you're doing. And here's a tip, don't throw that green waste away. If you have chickens or livestock, this fresh-cut grass is premium feed. Keeping things circular in the garden is always the goal. With the clear view, grab a hoe or a shovel and start turning the soil. This loosens things up and exposes the hidden root systems underneath. Take your time and pull out as many roots as you can find. I know it's tedious, but leaving even a tiny root fragment means the weeds will bounce right back in a week. Trust me, a little extra effort now saves you a massive headache later. Once the ground is clean, we can start building. We're going to frame a perfect circle right around this guava tree, keeping the tree as our centerpiece. Grab some old bricks and arrange them into a neat wall. This brick border doesn't just look sharp, it actually holds in all the premium soil and compost we're about to add, making the whole area incredibly easy to manage. Now, let's fill it up. Since the bed isn't super deep, you only need a few buckets of good quality loamy soil for a solid foundation. Loamy soil is perfect because it drains well while holding just enough moisture. Next, top it off with a rich layer of compost to give our new plants an immediate nutritional boost. Time to plant. I've got some vibrant cucumber seedlings ready to go. Gently pop them out of their trays, being careful with the roots, and space them out evenly around the guava tree. Cucumbers love to climb and spread, so give them room to breathe to keep them productive and healthy. To protect our hard work, we're mulching the bed with rice straw. Spread it evenly to cover all the bare soil. This straw keeps the roots cool, locks in moisture, and blocks any leftover weed seeds from seeing the sun. Finally, give the whole bed a deep, gentle watering to help the seedlings settle into their new home. Just like that, a messy weed patch is now a stunning, productive garden asset. Method 3. Wild Tomatoes Control Guide. The tomato bed you're looking at right now is absolutely exploding with fruit. We actually thought these were going to be well-behaved, bushy plants, but they had other plans. They've grown completely wild, spreading all over the place, pushing out endless flowers, and totally blocking the garden path. When tomatoes go rogue like this, they need immediate intervention. If you leave them alone, the heavy branches will flop over, lay on the wet ground, and your beautiful tomatoes will rot. To get this jungle back under control, we're using a simple 4-step strategy. Step 1 is a thorough cleanup. We need to clear out every single weed hiding underneath this heavy tomato foliage. Weeds grow incredibly fast in tight spaces, stealing the water and nutrients our heavy-feeding tomatoes need to ripen up. Pull them out by the roots so they don't make a quick comeback. With the weeds cleared out, step 2 is setting up a rock-solid support system. We're using basic bamboo stakes and sturdy garden twine. Drive the stakes deep into the corners of the bed and wrap the twine around them to create a secure, cage-like frame. Gently tuck those wild, heavy branches back inside the structure. This lifts the fruit off the ground, keeps the walking path wide open, and stops branches from snapping under the weight of a massive harvest. Step 3 is all about protecting the low-hanging fruit. We are spreading a clean layer of straw mulch across the entire bed. This creates a soft, protective barrier between the soil and the heavy tomato clusters. When tomatoes rest directly on damp dirt, they become prime targets for fungal diseases and rot. The straw completely prevents that, while keeping the soil perfectly moist so you don't have to water constantly. Now for step 4, and this is where the real magic happens. We're feeding these plants a homemade liquid gold fertilizer. This is a potent liquid feed we brew ourselves by fermenting the very weeds we just pulled out, mixed with a standard compost tea. When you let these weeds break down in water, they release highly bioavailable nutrients that plants can absorb instantly. We pour this natural liquid fertilizer right around the base of the plants, and the response is almost immediate. Within days, the leaves turn a deep, vibrant green, more flowers open up, and the green tomatoes start sizing up rapidly. It costs next to nothing and works better than commercial chemical fertilizers. Look at the difference now. What was a chaotic, messy jungle is now an organized, highly productive, and manageable tomato bed. The pathways are clear, the fruit is safe from rotting on the ground, and the plants are primed for a huge harvest. Method 4-3: Genius ways to upcycle garden weeds. Most people look at lawn clippings and pulled weeds as trash. They bag them up, set them on the curb, and completely miss out on one of the most nutrient-dense, free resources available to a gardener. Soft green weeds and grass are packed with nitrogen, essential trace minerals, and organic matter. Instead of throwing them away, you can easily recycle them to supercharge your soil and grow massive vegetables. The first and most powerful way to use your weeds is turning them into a premium liquid fertilizer using the JADM method. This liquid gold is packed with natural nitrogen and microbes that plants go crazy for. Grab a large bucket and pack it full of your freshly pulled weeds and lawn clippings. Don't worry about weed seeds or invasive roots here. The fermentation process completely breaks them down. Fill the bucket with about 10 liters of water. To turbocharge the mix, throw in a handful of fully decomposed manure to introduce beneficial microbes, and add a couple of tablespoons of molasses to feed them. Stir it up well, cover it loosely, and let it ferment for 2 to 3 weeks. It's going to get a bit smelly, but that means it's working. When it's done, you'll have a dark, concentrated plant food. Dilute it, 1 part fertilizer to 10 parts water, and feed it to your veggies every 2 weeks. Your leafy greens and heavy feeders will explode with growth. The second method is the easiest, using your weeds as a high-performance mulch. Both green and dried grass clippings make a phenomenal ground cover. When you spread them around your plants, they create a protective blanket that locks moisture into the soil, drastically cutting down your water bill. Even better, a thick layer of weed mulch completely smothers any new weed seeds trying to sprout, saving you hours of future weeding. As the grass breaks down, it draws in earthworms and feeds the soil biology. Just keep the layers relatively thin if the grass is fresh and wet so it doesn't get slimy, or let it dry out in the sun first for a beautiful, long-lasting mulch. The third method is a brilliant trick for building brand new, ultra-fertile garden beds from scratch. Instead of buying expensive bags of soil, dig out the top 2 to 3 inches of dirt from your new bed area. Lay down a thick, heavy layer of your pulled weeds and lawn clippings right into the trench. Shovel the native dirt right back over the top and finish it with a layer of compost or manure. Give it a deep watering. Those buried weeds will act as an underground composting system, breaking down directly in the root zone of your future plants. Within about 10 days, your new bed is perfectly primed and ready for planting. Method 5. The green chili harvest. Today is an incredibly rewarding day in the garden because it is finally time to harvest my green chilies. This is the moment every gardener waits for, and honestly, seeing the results of months of patience and daily care never gets old. Before we start picking, let me show you how I laid out this section of the garden. I've built a mix of rectangular, square, and slightly raised beds. Designing your garden with different shapes isn't just about aesthetics, though it does look beautiful and neat. It actually helps with water management, ensures proper drainage, and makes it much easier to access each individual plant without stepping on the soil and compacting it. If you look closely at these chili plants, you can see just how loaded they are. Almost every single branch is weighed down with firm, glossy, vibrant green chilies. This kind of heavy production doesn't happen by accident. It means the plants have been getting exactly what they need from day one. The secret to a harvest like this is keeping things completely natural. I focused heavily on building rich organic soil from the start. Healthy soil is the foundation of everything. I also made sure to stay on top of weeding. If you let weeds take over a chili bed, they will quickly rob your plants of the sunlight, water, and nutrients needed to produce peppers. Watering is another big factor. Chilies hate wet feet, but they also hate drying out completely. I always aim for a consistent balance, keeping the soil damp but never soggy. Combined with a spot that gets a solid 8 hours of blasting natural sunlight daily, these plants have been thriving. Gardening really teaches you the value of consistency. Spending just a few minutes every day checking the leaves for pests, clearing away yellow foliage, and monitoring moisture levels pays off massively in the long run. And now, all that daily effort comes down to this. When you harvest chilies, always snap them off gently at the stem. Never yank them or you risk breaking the branches. Proper harvesting actually tells the plant to keep pushing out new flowers, which means even more chilies in a few weeks. Look at how fast this basket is filling up with gorgeous, shiny peppers. There is truly nothing like the feeling of eating food you grew entirely with your own hands. These homegrown chilies are packed with crisp flavor, completely free of harsh chemical sprays, and picked at absolute peak freshness. For me, this garden is more than just a source of fresh food. It's a place to unplug, de-stress, and connect with nature. Thanks so much for sharing this harvest journey with me today.